Hello, everybody. This is a special Alley of Dunks episode just before the Final Four, and today we are looking at the All Euroleague teams. So, Euroleague has already given the awards, so there were a lot of eyebrows rising, looking at what has been chosen. And I think, from our opinion, if I can speak both from myself and Konstantinos, we believe that there were so many players this year that could have been in, that anyone being selected is actually a fair selection, but anyone also left out is also a bit unfair. So it's a bit, strange situation.
Yeah, the whole process created a big debate. After, as Bill said, after the results went public, and some players they just express their own opinion and how much they do not agree with the method as it is right now. People is the fans are voting. Um, I believe it was started controversy between the players and the awards, and I believe it's a big debate, and of
Yeah, it's a
course,
big Twitter
yeah,
debate.
exactly, yeah, Twitter or Instagram or social
Yeah,
media.
even the players themselves get the conversation there.
Exactly.
But I think is everyone contributes 25% into the selection, so players, coaches. I think it's the captains of the team and then the voting, the fans voting, if I remember correctly. So I think from my point of view, I would prefer the system that NBA has, and you do have the regular season all NBA team, and then you go just for the finals, really, the MVP of the finals, etc. So what we will try today is perhaps mirror that and make two All EuroLeague teams based on regular season only. We've seen in the official selections this year there was at least one or maybe a couple of players that they wouldn't been in that selection if it wasn't for the playoffs. So with that in mind, we're also going to make first and second playoff teams and the coaches as well. So let's get into it. So here we have all our centers that we think they stood a chance, or they had at least a good season to be considered in that pool. So not an extensive pool for centers, as you can see here.
And you can see
Um,
also some, big names. For example, Tavares. You see Tavares, you see Lesor, you see Nebo, but also you might see Bolomboy is over there, Tiemann, who Laverne, who were very productive for their own teams. So that's why we included all of them into the discussion for the team.
and Ibaka first year back in EuroLeague, a really really good season as well. Is tough, I would say, to select anyone that is not managed to be at least at the play-ins. Um, but I think one player for sure had a dominant season, right?
Yeah.
And that is Lesort. It is the back-to-back first selection team, as EuroLeague also selected him on the first team. Second year in a row with a different team, so it's a great achievement. He was one of the pillars of Panathinaikos that they managed to end up second at the regular season, and he played tirelessly, I think more than 30 minutes, and definitely deserved to be there. And I think it was on second on PIR, if I'm correct.
Yeah, behind Larkin, I think.
So do you have any other comment for centers, or should we go through to forwards?
Well, I just want to point out that, in my opinion, this is Lesor peak in performance and also career, and what he started to build last year at Partizan. Now this year in a new team with new teammates, he just showed how dominant he can be at the center position.
Correct. So let's move to forwards then. A big, actually, we start with some power forwards and some small forwards. So we have both of them here. So that's why you can see quite many in your screen. We think all of these players had a very good season, and for some of them, I think if they had a more consistent performance, perhaps they would be in. But then I think there is one player that made history this year, and one player that was consistently being the leader of his team through the regular season. Again, we're talking about regular season. I don't think he had the same playoffs. So I think I've already given out the name, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's Hayes Davis. Also, to add to your point, Bill, just think that also they changed coach. They went from coach to this to coach Saras Yasikevicius. So this can also affect the players and the way they play. However, this happened also with Hayes Davis, but with a positive effect. And he just, when Coach Saras came, then Hayes Davis was just exploded. Of course, the beginning of the season, I think he had some injuries, or battling with injuries. So when new coach came, he was, I think Hayes Davis found it as a new beginning, new start. So that was his motivation. And to me, as you said, not good playoffs, but for regular season, he has to be in the first team.
Yeah. And Fener managed to get onto the playoff spot, so that was great performance. As you can see, we have decided that actually the guards had even better performance this year, so we have 3 guards in our system. But looking at the rest of the forwards, there are forwards that they would, easily be in one, maybe in the main team if things were different. If I look on the top, Moneke had an amazing season. Then you had Shields having his usual all-around great season.
And
Clyburn, great.
Yeah, and also Toko Shengelia. He reminded me of the Shengelia in Baskonia. That he was just this force. He was the main, the leader on the court for the team. So as you said, of course, Moneke, great season. If there was now another debate, I know I'll open now the Pandora's box. If there was a most improved player award, I will definitely give it to Moneke. Because last year with Monaco, he didn't show what he was capable on the court to give to the team. And now it was an amazing, outstanding season for Monake. Yeah. And as you said, also, Clyburn, when FS wanted to go to the playing tournament, he was one of the main pillars for the team to give this extra boost.
Yeah, pretty much everyone in here has had a very good performance. So let's go to the guards. Apologies. So again, an extensive selection here. You can clearly see the agents zero around the team trying to get in there. The pure scorers of EuroLeague. But yeah, what can you say about it? Like, even if you look at these pictures and look at the players, every single one of them that I can see here had an amazing season, and some of them had seasons, that they've been historic. Can they all fit? Can they even fit in the 2 first teams? It's quite tough. So let's see. Again, we're only talking about regular season. So Mike James is the clear MVP this year. He is a fair MVP. He really guided his team into the third position at the regular season. He was magic. He broke also this year the record of the most points in the league. And at his age, he keeps, producing amazing performances for everyone to enjoy. So very well deserved.
I mean, yeah, he's the all-time EuroLeague top scorer. As Bill mentioned, at the beginning, you can see so many quality players. For example, you see also Marcus Howard, the Alfonso Ford winner. So you see also Keenan Evans. To me, last year he had this horrific injury when he was in the discussion for the MVP award last year. He came back even stronger for some, that shows his motivation to go on. And that's just discussing two players out of this huge pool. So again, as Bill said, Mike James, the MVP of this season's EuroLeague, well deserved, and to be included in the first team.
The next position is for Campazzo. Campazzo, he had a good all-round season. He contributed everything for Real. Real had the best record this year. He's the leader of the team, and he doesn't even have to stay and play long minutes to be there. Really productive. There's not a lot to say about him. He needs to, for the regular season, he needs to be there. I agree what you said about Evans. If Zalgiris was anywhere within the top 6, I think Evans was in the first team. Not even the second. I think he would be straight on the first team.
Yeah.
Great season. So I totally agree. And I think there is another player as well that if he was higher on the standings, and that's McIntyre, in my opinion, he could also be a very good candidate for it. So
you see, 20 assist game, it's amazing. Yeah.
So in our opinion, the position that your team gets actually plays a role into this, because it's also how far can you get your team sometimes.
Exactly, it affects one way or the other. It affects if this player will be included in the first team or second team, or in general in the discussion.
So it may be unfair when you compare, because Campazzo has all of this help, has elite forwards, elite centers. So maybe his job is easier, but it is what it is, right? Let's go to the next one then. And the last guard to finish our team is Rams. Wade Baldwin. He just finished what he started last year at the second half. Amazing performance for Wade Baldwin. So we have, I think, if I remember correctly, EuroLeague had him on the second team. We gave him actually the first team for Baldwin.
I mean, the second part of the season, I don't remember. He had a game that he had 50 fantasy points. So you can imagine how good he was performing on the second round. Just, in the first round, again, as Hayes Davis, he was battling with injuries. So he didn't start, healthy into the season. But in the second part of the season, he was the Wade Baldwin we know, just pure scorer and creating this amazing duo with Lorenzo Brown. And again, for regular season, Lorenzo Brown did not have a good season. Again, for regular season. And that's why
exactly
it was more to Wade Baldwin what he achieved.
And let's go to finish up with the coach for this team. So here we have a small selection of coaches that we think they did a good job. So as you can see on the right hand side, we have also two coaches that could be controversial to be here. One is Banky, because he didn't manage to actually get into playoffs. They lost. Virtus lost at the play-in tournament. But still, he was a new coach. If I remember correct, in the summer, quite late, he got into the team and completely switched off things. They had an amazing first half of the year. Perhaps if they build on how they did on the first half of this year, next year, Virtus could be a very important team that will probably knock the door of the playoffs. And the other coach is Barca coach. We need to remember it's his first year, right? And considering that he took a team with quite a lot of character, that played big players, let's say most of them, they've been also in the NBA. And he still managed to end up within the top 4. So it's not a bad result, actually. Everyone here then had a good season. But we're going with
Ataman. I mean, Coach Ataman, new team for him. He came to Panathinaikos, bring 12 new players and just create something from scratch. So, in my opinion, he is he has to be the coach of the first team.
Absolutely, and I think most people wouldn't really think that he will be able to, go all the way and get on the second spot, as you said. So, amazing achievement. For one more time, Coach Ataman showed what he can do with the new team. So that was the first team. For the regular season. Let's go on the second All Euroleague team. Again, we have the pool of the centers, minus Lesor, that was on the first team. And in this case, we think one player should have been in the selections from EuroLeague, and that is Nibo. So Nibo, quite a great season, quite dominant at the board and in the paint. As we mentioned before with Baldwin, I think he was the second pillar of this Maccabi team, and he helped a lot for them to reach the play-in and then the playoffs. Very good performances. I think Nibo the last 2 years has been gradually stepping up, and I think this year he took probably the biggest step, a step that gets him close to the stars of the EuroLeague. So it's a sensational season from Nibo. Then let's look at the forwards. Again, we're going with just one forward position here. And there was one player that actually managed to be in the 50-40-90 club. And that was Hezonja. And his team also was winning while he was doing that. So that's the best thing you can have, right? One player having a historic, statistically at least, season, and then also his team winning. So if you consider both of these things, then Hezonja deserves to be where he is in the second All Euroleague team with another amazing.
Yeah, Hezonja, one of the hot names this summer. He will be a free agent. Also for Nibo, I mean, what he achieved and what he completed this season is amazing. Again, same as Baldwin. Second part of the season, him and Baldwin just gave what Maccabi wanted to go even further. And reaching, of course, the playoffs.
Exactly. And then, as you can see, unfortunately, there are a lot of huge names left out of our selections for the regular team. Again, many could say that some of it could be unfair. Maybe Moneke, maybe Sengelia, maybe Peters for the first half of the year he had. But then if we look then at the guards though, we have some historic performances. And Lucas on the second half, especially of the year, he guided Panathinaikos team into the second spot. He was instrumental on the time he was on the floor, and he was really a game changer every time he was coming on the floor, and he helped them get some very, very big wins and climb on the stands. Then,
to add to your point, the key acquisition of Panathinaikos last summer, because when Slukas joined, then everything started rolling with Lesor and then Vildoza and the rest of the players. But he showed on the court why and his impact and why he is one of the best guards in EuroLeague.
Yeah, amazing performances, pure quality, one of the best leaders in the EuroLeague. Then next guard position, it goes to the big scorer. It goes to Shane Larkin. He is unlucky because FS didn't make it. So perhaps that's the reason why EuroLeague did not put him in the All EuroLeague team. Again, just looking at the regular season and again grading everyone with our perspective, we think that Shane Larkin is a must-have, at least on the second team.
I agree. But was he unlucky or he was unlarking? Because,
all right, because maybe.
Yeah, because not just the PIR that he had the best PIR this season, but his effect when FS wanted just to get the W to go to the play-in tournament, he was there, giving everything he had. And as we said for Clyburn, same for Larkin. But especially for Larkin, I believe he is one of the, how can I call it, the most surprising snubs, out of the All EuroLeague teams, because he is one of the guards all these years that they have the quality, and he always has to be in the conversation, either for the first or the second team, depending.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether he's snubbed or not because he didn't make it on the playoffs. So I think for me it was almost like the last positions of second team. Maybe we can just look also on the teams that didn't make it on the playoffs, and I think it's the only player that we have in our two regular season teams that didn't make it to the playoffs. So the other side of the argument would say he didn't make it to the playoffs. But again, in my opinion, he should be there.
Yeah.
And finally, another historic season for a rookie player. McIntyre, he managed to lead Baskonia, of course, with the help of Moneke and Howard and Sedekerskis, to the playoffs. He broke the record on assist. He had, if I remember correct, he had triple-double, second triple-double, I think, the last 10 years, right?
Yep.
And he just sensational performance for a rookie. Let's see what next year brings when he has even more experience. For me, that's a snub. To be honest, that's even bigger snub than Larkin.
And he even scored some big buzzer beaters versus Olympiacos at Olympiacos home court versus Panathinaikos in Baskonia. So, and not just that, but as you said, as I said, for Moneke, that to me, if there was an award of the most improved player, it would be for Moneke. For Rookie of the Year, it goes straight to McIntyre, at least from my opinion. I mean, how much impact he brought to the team. And as I said, for Hayes Davis, we have to think also that also Baskonia moved from Penaroya to coach Ivanovic. So coach change again, but this effect, it was towards the positive side for McIntyre.
For sure. And let's see now who is the coach of the second team. And I think, again, perhaps we have one or two people that they came very close to that. But it couldn't be any other one than Matteo, when he has a record of most wins in EuroLeague with his team. So historic season for Real. Yes, of course, he had the same team from last year mainly, but still, you are there and you need, the jerseys themselves do not play basketball. You need to coach your players and the players need to deliver, and he did that and they did deliver, and they easily came first. So the whole competition was for second position and lower. They were the absolute first. And if it wasn't for Panathinaikos having a completely new team and jumping from 17 to the second in a year, I think it would be fair for him to be the coach of the year, but in our opinion, it should have been that.
Yeah, and also just to add for Coach Matteo, sometimes we say, okay, he's a coach, he has the quality players for it, like 2 quality players per position, for example. But we have also to think the parameter that the coach has to manage all these personalities in the dressing room. So Coach Matteo has achieved exactly that, and he's created this year a team that I don't remember how long was the strike, like 13 wins before the first defeat for Real Madrid, or more. Maybe it was more. I cannot recall now exactly the number.
Yeah.
But what he created and the players produced, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. So with that, we conclude our first and second regular season All Euroleague team. Let's go to the playoffs.